Hey everyone, this is Sean from Film Fanatics, and this is my video going over 22 of my favorite supernatural Easter eggs. Now, in case you are still on one of the first seasons, this is just a quick spoiler warning as there will be a few throughout the video. Number 1. In Season 2, Episode 18, Hollywood Babylon, in the beginning, the boys are on a tour of the Warner Brothers lot. The tour guide says that they're passing the place where Gilmore Girls is filmed, and if they're lucky, they might get to see one of the stars. Jared Padalecki had a recurring role on Gilmore Girls as Dean Forrester. Yet this isn't the only Easter egg of the episode. The tour guide also pointed out that up to the right here we have New York Avenue, and that's where they shot Lewis and Clark. And Lewis and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, was a previous credit of Supernatural producer and director Robert Singer. And just a quick small Easter egg, the producer Robert Singer has one of the characters of the show, Bobby Singer, named after him, which is joked about in Season 6, Episode 15, The French Mistake, with Dean saying, "What kind of douchebag names a character after himself?" And that isn't the only Easter egg in The French Mistake. It's more like an episode full of Easter eggs about the cast and crew. For example, Jensen Ackles really was in a soap opera called Days of Our Lives.
Would you want to run away with me?
Money? Do you think I really care about money, Nicole? I care that you're healthy.
I'm no quitter, Eric.
Jared Padalecki really is married to Genevieve Cortez, the actress who plays Ruby in the show. We also saw Misha Collins playing Misha Collins in the episode, and it seems he was on his phone tweeting a lot. Well, it turns out those tweets were actually put on his Twitter. There are several Back to the Future Easter eggs in Supernatural. In the Season 4 episode, in the beginning, Dean sits down with a young John Winchester, his future father, after being sent to the year 1973 by Castiel. When someone says, "Hey Winchester," and they both turn and look, this is a reference to the cafe scene in Back to the Future, where a young Biff Tannen calls for McFly, and both Marty and George, his future father, turn.
Hey, McFly! What do you think you're doing?
Biff.
Hey, I'm talking to you, McFly, you Irish bug.
Another one is when Dean asks Castiel if angels got their hands on some DeLoreans, the car and time travel device used in Back to the Future.
Very. Okay, so what? Angels got their hands on some DeLoreans? How did I get here? Time is fluid, Dean.
The episode also ends saying "to be continued," ending the same way that Back to the Future ends, and with the episode already having so many references, I'm pretty damn sure this is one too. There is actually another Back to the Future reference in Supernatural, this time in the episode Frontierland. Dean went back to the past to the year 1861 to get Phoenix Ash to defeat Eve. Dean uses the cult to shoot the Phoenix, but before he can get the ashes, he is brought back to the present by Castiel. Sam and Dean get a package that's been waiting for them for over 150 years containing the Phoenix Ash, and not how Marty received a package from Doc from 7 years earlier, with the explicit instructions to deliver it to Marty at Marty's exact location at the exact minute he needed it in Back to the Future 2. In Season 4, Episode 1, Lazarus Rising, Dean is pissed when he finds Sam has added an iPod to the Impala. When he turns it on, it turns out that the song that is playing is actually a song made by Jensen Ackles' friend, Jason Mans, called Vision. Dean looks to Sam with a disgusted, "Really?" before ripping out the iPod and tossing it on the back seat. In Season 5, Episode 5, Fallen Idols is a big shout-out to the 2005 remake, House of Wax, that Jared Padalecki and Paris Hilton both starred in. In the episode, Leshy, a pagan god who can take many forms in order to kill and feed on its worshippers, takes the form of Paris Hilton, and Dean mentions he hasn't seen the movie, saying, "Well, I hate to break it to you, sister, but you can't eat me. See, I'm not a Paris Hilton BFF. I've never even seen House of Wax."
You can't eat me. See, I'm not a Paris Hilton BFF. I've never even seen House of Wax.
There was also an episode where Dean said, "Dad loved this," about a baseball bat strikingly similar to Lucille, the bat used by Negan from The Walking Dead. And just in case people missed the reference, the camera even zoomed in and gave a close-up of the bat, giving a good cameo to The Walking Dead, and making us question if John Winchester and Negan are the same person, possibly in some sort of alternate universe. God, introduced as author Chuck Shirley, wrote the Supernatural series within the show under the name Carver Edlund. What's the Easter egg here? Well, Carver Edlund is a mix of the Supernatural writers Jeremy Carver and Ben Edlund's last names. The Exorcist is one of the scariest movies in the entire history of film. Nobody has seen anything like it before, and the movie became a worldwide phenomenon. In Supernatural, they recognize the Exorcist in the Season 2 episode, The Unusual Suspects. Linda Blair arrests the Winchesters. They're framed for a murder they didn't commit, that was the work of a vengeful spirit. At the end of the episode, Dean mentions he'd like some pea soup, referencing Linda Blair's iconic moment in The Exorcist where her character threw up pea soup.
Hey everybody, here comes fun!
The Simpsons is one of the most iconic and beloved shows of all time. Almost everyone has watched at least one episode at some point in their lives. In Season 1, Episode 18, Something Wicked, Sam researches a monster known as a Shatriga, which him and Dean are preparing to hunt. He finds references to the creature in Brockway, Ogdenville, and North Haverbrook, the same three cities' monorails that happen to get sold in the Simpsons episode Marge vs. the Monorail. Led Zeppelin is, excuse me if I butcher his name here, Eric Kripp, the original creator and showrunner of Supernatural from Season 1 to 5's favorite band, and there are several Led Zeppelin Easter eggs throughout the seasons. Before Eric stepped down as the showrunner, he titled the Season 5 finale Swan Song, which happens to be the name of Led Zeppelin's record label. He also pays homage to the band by making several of Sam and Dean's aliases be names of band members. For example, in Season 1, Episode 11, Dean introduces himself as John Bonham, Led Zeppelin's late drummer. In the episode Bedtime Stories, Dean's fake ID identifies him as Robert Plant, Led Zeppelin's lead singer, and Sam's ID says Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin's guitarist. And in Season 6, Episode 22, the fake IDs Robin finds in Sam's hotel room are for Jimmy Page, Neil Peart, and Angus Young. Page is the guitarist for Led Zeppelin, Peart is the drummer for Rush, and Young is the lead guitarist for AC/DC. And all three of these aliases have been used before in the series. Motel rooms. In the 100th episode of Supernatural, which is Season 5, Episode 18, titled Point of No Return, the room number of the motel Sam and Dean are staying in is 100. In the 200th episode, Fan Fiction, the room number of the motel that the Winchesters are staying at is 200. Now, family is an important part of Supernatural, with the importance of family highlighted several times, like when Dean stopped Sam from shutting the gates of hell with all demons inside because it would take his brother's life. It came as no surprise to see Jensen Ackles include an Easter egg dedicated to one of his family members. In the episode Soul Survivor, there's a shot of a gas station. This gas station was named after Jensen's nephew, Levi. In Season 7, Episode 3, The Girl Next Door, in this part of the episode that Dean is asleep and Sam sneaks out, the TV says, "My Bloodiest Valentine." This is actually a reference to a movie called My Bloody Valentine, which Jensen Ackles was in 2009. As Season 5 of Supernatural began, the writers set up an arc that saw Sam and Dean as vessels for the archangels Lucifer and Michael, who were meant to fight each other in a battle that would take half of the planet with it. One scene in the season premiere teased just what was about to come. Just after Lucifer was freed from hell, after Sam killed Lilith, the brothers were transported away from him and into an airplane flying overhead. On the airplane, an episode of Looney Tunes played that involved Usemite Sam taken to hell by the devil himself. This foreshadowed that Sam would eventually become Lucifer's vessel and be in hell. And those are some of the Easter eggs seen so far in Supernatural. Let me know if I missed any and which Easter egg is your favorite. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I make content about Supernatural, Marvel, and a few other shows I like. Bye.